All right, let's look at this targeting chords with the Shelton roll exercise. This roll is very, very cool, very useful, and it was created by Alan Shelton, who played with Jim and Jesse, and he was a very creative banjo player and brought a lot of cool things to the table. This roll being one of the most cool and useful things. It sounds like this. I first heard this in Bela Fleck's version of Dear Old Dixie on his Crossing the Tracks record, and I was just like, I was trying to transcribe it, and I was like, how is he making those sounds happen? It sounds like he's doubling his middle finger on the first string, but he's not. So here's the pattern. We're going to start this. It's going to feel a little awkward probably at first. We start it with index on the first string, thumb on the third, index on the second string, middle on the first. Then we start it over, second half of the measure, with index again on the first, thumb on the third, index on the second, and middle on the first. So you get this sound. It's a really cool way to play a melody on the first string with a chord below it. You can do all sorts of things, but I'm going to present this specific chord pattern for this, and this is very cool. It's very bluesy. So what we're doing is going from a G chord, the F-shaped G, and we're going to end up here at our G7, pinky on the first string, 9th fret, index on the second string, 6th fret, and middle finger on 3rd string, 7th fret. Now what we're going to do is chromatically walk up to that. That's the sound of the move. We're starting here. Now what we're doing is jumping into that 7th shape. These two fingers move up a half step, and you stretch your pinky to the first string, 7th fret. Okay, that goes up a half step. And then one more, and we've gotten to our G7. So now what we're going to do is put this roll on to that move. Okay, very cool. It sounds really, really neat, and it's got a modern sound to it, and it's super useful. So the next one I'm going to show you before we go through the exercise is just the next inversion of this, which is also very useful. So now what we're going to do is lead from this D-shaped G into this G7 bar shape. Okay, so the move concept is the exact same. So just so we can look at this bar, I've got pinky on first string 12th, ring finger on second string 12th, index finger on third string 10th. So what we're going to do is start here, and then we scoot that index up one half step. That's third string, 8th fret, and then we're already into our 7th shape here. So third string, 8th fret, ring is second string, 10th fret, pinky is first string, 10th fret. So we're going. Okay, and then we're splitting that. We're splitting these up within that roll. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. This makes a perfect bluesy, jazzy 2-measure lick. So what we're going to do now is follow a G-C-D chord progression with both of these concepts. So here's the first one. We're going G for 2 measures, we're going C for 2 measures, D for 2 measures, back to a G. So we're going. Now that leads us chromatically right to our F-shaped C chord, and sounds like the perfect harmonic movement there. Now the C. All right, then we go back down to our D shape. This is the F-shaped D. Leads us right back home to our high octave F-shaped G, and we're going to go work that all the way up. So that's just an exercise to get your hands moving through a chord progression using this technique. So here's the whole thing. Very handy. So each one of those fits 2 measures. So anywhere you have a 2-measure chord progression, you can put one of these shapes. They're movable. You can use them anywhere you want because it does not use the 5th string. So you want an F, you want an A. So very easy to move around the neck. Here's the next one. So we're going to start this. I'm just going to play through the exercise here. So I changed this one up just a tad, using the Shelton roll to move down a descending line with the D chord, but you could go up as well. And then end up there if you want. So we're going, here's our shapes. We're going from the D shape, G, to our bar 7th shape. So here's the first move. Then we're going into our D shape C chord with the index on 12, 3rd string, middle on 13th fret, 2nd string, and pinky on 14th fret, 1st string. That's our starting point. Then we do that same move from there. All right, now we go back a half step to jump into the D, and you can keep going up from there if you want. And you just got to decide which G you want to land on. But what I wrote in the tab is a descending scale triad pattern going from this D down a whole step to a C, which is still working over a D chord because it's just a substitute, a bluesy substitute. Whole step down. Now we're jumping into a minor shape, and that would be a B minor. Ring finger is on 1st string 12th, middle finger 2nd string 12th, index finger 3rd string 11th. Same roll. Oops. Whole step down to an A minor, and then I just end with a little Scrugsy D lick there, or a G lick there. So anyway, just take those shapes and try them in different tunes. You don't have to do the whole thing. The whole thing doesn't have to be in that concept. You could just take a 2-measure chord segment, but they definitely sound great all together, like the whole chord progression with those shapes. It sounds like, you know, it's all related, and it's just a cool idea that works. You know, if you wanted to do that for a whole solo, it sounds good. just a nice flowing idea. So this is great. If you haven't used this, it's just going to add a new thing for your bag of tricks. So try it out, and try it out in different keys, try it out on different chords. Like one thing I can just quickly show you here with this D-shaped G. That works as a nice D lick starting down here. 2 measures, so there's a lot of use for these because we have a lot of 2-measure chord progressions in bluegrass. So anyway, take a look at that stuff, work on that roll pattern real slow, and once you get used to having that index hitting the first string, which is a little awkward sometimes, you'll get this nice and smooth. So anyway, have fun with that, and we'll see you soon.